Okay, so this week we were working on observations. And so this is going to be a little review for you in case maybe you weren't quite clear on some of the stuff that we talked about on Monday and Tuesday. So observing is using one or more of your senses to gather information about the world around you. And we talked about the fact that we observe throughout our lives and throughout the day and all the time. It's using our senses to take in information. And so senses, we know about our senses. There are 5 of them. We have sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. From our observations, we can make inferences or assumptions. So remember, this was like, what do we see, and then what do we think from what we see? What are our thoughts on that? What can we assume is happening? So we're going to get some practice with this. All right, here is a picture, well, a couple of pictures. I just want you to take a second to look at these different images. You're going to use your observation skills to look at them, and then you're going to use your inferring skills to maybe guess what I might be doing this afternoon based on the pictures that you see in front of you. So if you need more time, go ahead and push pause on this video to think about it. But you'll notice that I have a picnic basket, I have a sandwich, a blanket, some chips, an apple, some silverware. I also have a juice box. Based on the observations that you made, hopefully you saw or inferred that I am going to be going on a picnic. That's my plan. Now you don't know that for sure, but based on what you see, you would probably guess that a picnic is in the near future. Okay, let's try again. Go ahead and look at these images, make observations about what you see, and then make an inference as to maybe what I might be doing or what I'm planning on doing at some point. There's some sunglasses, sunscreen, a towel, a beach ball, flip-flops, a bag. If you need more time to think about this, go ahead and click pause. But if you think you have a pretty good guess of what I might be doing, keep watching. Based on your observation skills, you should have inferred that I am planning on going to the beach. Okay, so there are 2 types of observations. There's qualitative and quantitative, and we're going to talk about each of those. So let's first look at qualitative observations. Qualitative observations are observations made using your senses. So the questions you might ask yourself when making a qualitative observation would be, what does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What does it sound like? And what does it feel like? We use our 5 senses to make qualitative observations. Okay, you're going to, at this point, pause the video and go grab a starburst. So pause the video. All right, now you should push play and you are ready to go. You've got a starburst. You're going to unwrap it. And then I want you to use your senses to answer these questions. You don't need to write it down. This is just your own internal thought. So if you need more time, go ahead and pause the video at any moment. So what does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? If you need more time to think about these observations, push pause. Now that you have answered those questions, you have named some qualitative observations of the starburst. You used your senses to describe it. We use our senses to describe things around us all the time. Like if it's hot outside, we know that from our sense of touch. or feeling. We can feel that it's hot outside. Or if something is spicy, if you take a bite and the food is spicy, that's a qualitative observation because you made that observation using one of your senses. Now let's talk about quantitative observations. Now, quantitative observations are measurable observations, or to simplify it, they're observations with a number. Whenever you see an observation that has a number attached to it, it's a quantitative observation because it's something we can actually measure or count or check. So the questions you might ask yourself when you are wanting to make quantitative observations are maybe how many of the object do you have? How much does it weigh? How long is it? How much is there in the cup or whatever if you're doing fluids or something like that? So those are the questions you might ask yourself. These observations are of quantity. Okay, so how much? How many? What does it weigh? It's quantity. So at this point, you're going to look around the classroom and you're going to answer these questions just in your head. But if at any point you need to pause to go actually do these activities or count and find these numbers, please do so and then push play when you're ready to move on. So the first one I want you to figure out is how many students are there here in this classroom? So again, if you need to pause at this point, please do so. How many letters are in the teacher's last name? How many lab coats are in the spotlight? To find this, you'd probably want to look over by the chalkboard and count how many lab coats are hanging up. What different sizes of coffee can Mrs. Mawson's coffee machine brew? So to find this one, you're going to have to pause your video, get up, and go walk back by my coffee machine. There are 2 different sizes that my coffee machine can brew, and you'll look kind of on the right side of it. And then what is the temperature outside? To do this, you're going to open up a new tab in Google, and you can just Google temperature in North Platte, Nebraska, and it will tell you the exact temperature outside right now. So feel free to pause this or back up if you need to go back to some of these, and then push play when you're ready to move on. So you just named some quantitative observations of your environment. All of the observations that you made, you attached a number to, so they are quantitative. Let's put it all together. All right, this is the image we're going to use. I know it's kind of babyish, but it was colorful and there were lots of things going on, so I figured it might be a good choice for this next activity. So first we're going to make some qualitative observations. We're going to look at qualities. So answer these questions in your head. What color is the roller coaster? How would you describe the clouds? Could you think of a word to describe them? What colors are the roller coaster cars? What is the weather like? What do you think the weather looks like? Are there rides? So now you would want to say these as statements. The roller coaster is red. That's a qualitative observation. The clouds are fluffy, or the clouds are white. The roller coaster cars are all different colors. It is cloudy outside. There are rides at the park. Those are all qualitative observations. I described something that I could see with my senses. Now let's make some quantitative observations. How many clouds are there? How many unicorns are on the carousel? How many buckets are on the Ferris wheel? How many people are at the park? At this point, you may want to pause so that you could go ahead and answer these. Once you've answered these, go ahead and state back what you counted. There are 4 clouds. That is a quantitative observation. It's an observation that I made, and it has a number attached to it. How many unicorns are on the carousel? There are 5 unicorns on the carousel. That is quantitative. Go ahead and do that for the last 2 questions. So qualitative observations are made using your senses. Quantitative observations always have a number. Let's try this. How many of these observations are qualitative? Please feel free to freeze the video or pause it and read these over and count how many are qualitative. Qualities. Something that you would observe using your senses. Push play when you're ready. There were 5 qualitative observations. The 5 that are qualitative observations have been highlighted. Or I guess they've changed colors. They're now orange. Look those over and see what you missed. Okay, now let's try and figure out which ones or how many of these are quantitative. So they have a number attached to them, something measurable. Push pause and look these over, and then push play when you're ready to see the answer. There are 5 quantitative observations. Look these over. If you missed any, figure out why you missed it. Notice all of them that have changed to orange have a number in the observation. Okay, so now you're going to show me that you have taken this in. You are a little more clear on qualitative and quantitative, and you're ready to go on to our next activity after you complete these 6 questions. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to get a piece of paper and you're going to number to 6, and then you're either going to write QL for qualitative or QNT for quantitative. So you're going to read over the examples that are typed right here in front of you. So the chalkboard is green, there are 20 tables in the room, the classroom is cold, the lights are bright, there is 1 smartboard, you have 2 eyes. And you're going to decide whether it's a qualitative or a quantitative observation. Go ahead and write that on your paper, and when you're done, you're going to hand it in. Push pause while you do this activity. Okay, so now hopefully you have handed it in and your name is on it and you are ready to move on to ThingLink. So from here, you're going to go to Google Classroom and you're going to find the link to the YouTube video that explains the ThingLink activity. If you have any more questions, feel free to go back into this video and watch different parts over again, or come find Mrs. Mawson and we'll talk.